All right, let's have a look at this video. So this is the best relationship advice ever. I don't know if I'm ready for this. This video is claiming a lot. Stephen speaks, real love, real talk, real relationships.
So I want to read this quote by Maya Angelou.
Well, I think it's really good to start off the video with a quote from a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
So what are we talking about today? I want to give you the best relationship advice ever.
I am ready. I'm ready. I'm welling up. I'm tearing up. Hit me, Stephen.
All right. This advice is going to change your life. This advice is going to help you in your relationships and help you receive exactly what you're looking for.
This is like the most hyped up video I've ever seen. The best ever, the most you're ever looking for. It's going to change your life. I'm so ready for this advice.
Now, real quick, of course, I want you to subscribe to the channel. Comment below, what's your best piece of relationship advice?
All right.
I don't know. I mean, this one's claiming to be, so I don't know if there's an advice Olympics or anything that's going to be held at some point in the future.
All right.
Sort of like some Hunger Games of advice.
The reality is there's a lot of bad information being given out there.
Yeah.
A lot of people are leading you on the wrong
Come on,
path.
Stephen.
Some of it has been your
What's
own
the advice?
friends, or you're letting your
You know, I'm starting to not like this video now because it's sort of like, you know, it's like, this is the best advice, da 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 da, and I'm like, yeah, well, there's other advice out there. Yeah. What's the advice? Where's the magic bullet?
Or you're letting your own past negative experiences
shape your perception of love and relationships.
Yeah.
And now, more and more people are getting into toxic relationships. More and more people are trying to navigate this space with walls up. But I always say the same walls give up to protect you are the same walls blocking your blessings. The reality is this: you cannot fully give love and receive love with walls up. You're hindering the flow of love in and out of you because you're holding on to fear. You're holding on to anxiety. You keep replaying what you've been through rather than resolving and healing from it. That's not going to work. You've got to let it go. You've got to be willing to
be fully vulnerable if you want to receive love.
Brings me.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about the old fully vulnerable thing.
So this brings me to what exactly is the best piece of relationship advice ever.
We are 2 minutes and 32 seconds into this video. I have been primed for this relationship advice. I'm ready to hear it. Let's go. And I think I did a bungee jump once, and it's just that feeling before a bungee jump when you get your arms here and you've just got to lean forward and you're like, right, let's go. I'm ready. What's this relationship advice?
And that's to love with all your heart and hold nothing back. Now, for some of you might be thinking, oh, hell no, because last time I tried that, it got me hurt. Let me explain something to you. Loving with all your heart isn't what got you hurt. Dealing with the wrong person is what got you hurt. Trying to be in a relationship before you or them were truly ready is what got you hurt.
I see where he's going with this. I don't think it's the best relationship advice ever, but I get what he's saying. And the more I'm thinking about it now, it's probably, yeah, you want to be a nice person, but you can't let people take advantage of you. That's basically what it is, and that's probably what he means by the walls.
But letting the love fully come out of you, that is not the hurtful part. But here's the reason why that has to happen, and it's the best piece of advice you could ever embrace. If you want to truly experience a relationship at its full potential, you've got to let it all out.
Yeah, you gotta let it all out, but not at once. I mean, it's sort of like, it's a gradual process, isn't it? I mean, it's sort of like what that other woman was saying, sort of like, oh, I wouldn't do this on the first date, but I would this on third, because you need to get to know somebody. It might be at some point in the relationship when you know each other a bit better and you feel safe and comfortable with another person, but right at the beginning, just expressing all this love, it's just a bit full on, isn't it? So I think it is good to be able to put some boundaries around it.
Love with all your heart. And in doing that, you are going to expose what that other person is really about.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that.
Follow me here. When you hold back, you validate them holding back. And now trying to determine and see where they really stand becomes a lot more clouded and becomes more difficult to read. And also it becomes harder to read because you're trying to evaluate things through a broken lens. When you haven't healed, your vision is blurred. You can't see things straight. So first, you must create the love within you through healing. You must create the love within you through connecting to God, connecting to your spirit. When you feel...
Yeah, but I think it's also important to protect that love and to protect the way in which you conduct that love, which is why I think that boundaries are a good thing. But it's just about having the correct boundaries, because you can't build walls, because by building a wall, you're not letting anything in or out. And if you're just doing the opposite and just taking all the walls down, then you're just this open, wall-less person.
Self up with love. Now you can see everything more clearly. And now you go into a relationship giving your all, holding nothing back.
I think when things are going well, you don't have to give your all. It just trickles along nicely. It's progressive pace. And you both establish a symbiotic dynamic between you. So I don't think it's all about you and your love and all you have to give. I don't think it's that personal. I think it's more about the chemistry between two people.
Not taking tabs of what you did, because in giving everything, the other person has two options: step up to the plate or get the hell on.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, but I don't think you have to be so full on with it. I don't think you have to go in so loving.
That's it. They cannot anymore validate their lack of effort. They can't validate their walls being up when you are letting it all flow out.
Yeah, so somebody else's opinion has really got nothing to do with you. If they like you, then great, they can resonate with what you're projecting. And if they don't, then that's okay, because you're not compatible for each other anyway.
So if you want to really see what they're about, love them with all your heart. But here's the beautiful thing. If they show themselves to be on the same plane as you, to want to match your energy, match your effort, now you two will have the most amazing relationship, because you're both giving your all to each other.
Yeah, I agree.
And if they're not going to step up to the plate, you're going to expose them so fast that you won't waste months and years in dead-end relationships that only damage you further and keep you in a negative cycle.
Yeah, I usually know within the first couple of texts, usually the first, if a girl's right for me or not.
Stop holding back. Let it all out. Love with all your heart.
Again, it just seems a bit full on. It seems very passionate, and I think on a first date, you just want to kind of get to know each other a little bit. So I think that the ethos of it is probably right, but you have to work up to that. It's not something you can just do on the first date.
And you will get to experience relationships at a whole new level. But that, not just relationships with other people, the greatest relationship with you and God. Because in that is where you will find your peace, find your happiness, shine your light so that you can receive the person who is truly best for you and no longer waste your time on people who are not.
Yeah, I agree to some extent with what he's saying. Okay, right, so that's the best relationship advice ever. I don't think it is. And I'm going to tell you why. Because he was saying there's a wall, you're full of this love, and you have to break this wall down in order to give this love. And if the other person is in receipt of that and they give you the love back, then that's the union. And then if you give love and they're not giving it back because they've got their walls up or whatever, then they're not the right person to interact. I get what he's saying. You've got to break the walls down. I'm going to one-up it. I'm going to make what he said better. So this may actually be the best, the best relationship advice ever. The real best relationship advice ever. Are you ready? I hope you're ready for this. It's not a wall, and you don't break it down, and you don't climb over the wall or go into the wall. We're not Trump in here. It's a door. So, when somebody is nice to you, you open up the door and you give and receive love. And when somebody is nasty towards you, or they're trying to incite that negativity inside of you, you close that door. So when people are good and nice, you open up the door and give and receive love. And this can be with different people or with the same person. So you can have an interaction with a person and everything can be going well, you're going really nice. But then if they just turn nasty on you because they're playing a game, or because they change their mind, or because they just feel differently now, then you just politely close the door. And so you just say, I'm not going to accept that. And then if they do come back and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, then you can open up the door and receive again. And if they do turn again and you have to close the door a second time, then you may have to question the relationship a little bit. But it's more to do with having a healthy boundary. And the way that I see a boundary isn't like a wall that's either up or it's down. I see it as a door, because you've got to say yes to some things and no to other things. And again, that varies constantly. Life is just about making decisions, what you're going to say yes to and what you're going to say no to. And I think when the trouble with breaking that wall analogy thing down comes in, is because if you just say yes to everything, you're saying yes to all the evil that exists in this world. And I don't think that's healthy either. I think in order to look after and take care of love, you have to protect it. You have to protect the things that you love. And so you close the door to protect things, and then you open things to let them out. So I think it's not a case of building a wall or breaking a wall down or anything like that. I think it's more, the best relationship advice is to see relationships as like a door in terms of the interaction. Say yes to some things and no to others, and just be very consciously aware about what you're saying yes to. If you're saying yes to negative interactions, that's probably not going to end well. If you're saying yes to positive interactions and no to negative interactions, that's a more healthy boundary, I think. So yeah, the best relationship advice ever, maybe. Or maybe the door is better relationship advice, because you have a decision there. It's not a case of being guarded or being completely vulnerable. Yes, you have eternal love inside of you, and the other person does, and you can connect that. But it all depends on the interaction of what you will and won't accept. And you do have control of your own decision making to some extent, and that is probably the only thing that you do have control over. You don't have control over other people, of what they say and do to you, but you have choice of how you decide to respond. And that's where you decide to, yes, I'm going to accept this in my life, or no, I'm not, because I value the love that is inside of me and I want to protect that love. So that's my advice anyway.